If there were an Academy Award category Best Producer and/or Director of money-making movies, Steven Spielberg would win hands down. Spielberg has either directed and/or produced 6 of the top moneymakers of all time. If there were a category Creator of
The year is 1993, and up to this point, Steven Spielberg is known as a blockbuster director. But all that is about to change, with a film that will be considered his greatest and will earn him his first Oscar. A film that may as well be considered an anti-Spielberg film. Jaws, Indiana Jones and E.T. had very well established Spielberg as the director of summer blockbusters, while on the other hand, Spielberg had been contemplating adapting Thomas Keneally's book, Schindler's Ark, for nearly a decade now, unsure if he was mature enough to tackle such a profound subject, such as Holocaust.
And it took me 10 years to work up the nerve because there was such responsibility in telling that story.
Yeah. He tried to pass on the project to director Roman Polanski, but he refused Spielberg's offer, passing on the project to Martin Scorsese, who began developing the film, by which point Steven regretted his decision and asked for the script back.
Who the fuck has the goddamn gall to call his house on a Tuesday night? God damn it!
At the time, Steven was working on Jurassic Park, which had been shot and edited, but sound mix and color correction was yet to be done. Steve, who had just got the final draft of Schindler's List, had been reading it as well, and at page 167, he realized.
And I knew when we got to page 167 that I had to make the movie now.
But if he wanted to make the film, he had to leave right now to catch the winters, or he'd have to wait a whole year to catch the winters again.
And I asked George Lucas if he would supervise the dub, and George came in and dubbed the picture for me.
You to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Zed.
No way.
You brought
no
it on
way.
Zed, I got your voucher.
Out!
The world had known Spielberg's style for a better part of the decade now, but this was something different. From storyboarding the entire Jurassic Park to being inventive daily for Schindler's List, the film seemed like a departure from what we know of Spielberg. Steven adopted to a minimalistic style of filmmaking without dolly zooms, rising soundtracks, and dynamic camera movements. The cinematography, predominantly in black and white, lending a documentary-like authenticity to the narrative. The recurring motif on the red coat worn by the young girl in Krakow ghetto serves as a powerful metaphor for the innocence and vulnerability against the brutality of the war in black and white. Moreover, Spielberg's use of handheld camera adds a sense of intimacy to the film, allowing audience to witness the horrors of the Holocaust through the eyes of its victims. Rather than relying on elaborate set pieces or visual effects, Spielberg prioritized authenticity and emotional resonance, capturing the stark brutality and human suffering with unflinching realism. Unlike the larger-than-life heroes of Spielberg's previous films, Schindler is depicted as flawed and morally ambiguous, driven initially by self-interest and nothing else. Schindler's List may not have matched the box office success of its counterpart,
in the new movie Jurassic Park,
but it resonated deeply with audiences and critics alike. The film became more than a cinematic experience. It was a testimony to the resilience of the human spirit.
Tell her not to do it again.
The cast and crew felt a profound responsibility to honor the memories of those whose stories were depicted in the film.
by Steven, and I met Spielberg, and at first I was very nervous about accepting the role.
The film was celebrated and enjoyed by critics and audiences. But to us, it revealed a new side of Spielberg, one we would come to see throughout the years, making him the filmmaker we know today.
Schindler's List, I was always a bit outside of the experience. And I think it's because it was horrendous and troubling and deeply saddening and terrifying at times, and I think it pushed me out of it.
That was it for the video. I'm Ved, and this was Director's Cut.